The Seattle Seahawks are at a crossroads right now in their franchise. They have won Super Bowls. They won one Super Bowl. They went to two. And they had this group of players. They had Marshawn Lynch. They had Richard Sherman. They had Michael Bennett, Golden Tate, Max Unger. And now all of these guys are gone. Their core that took them to Super Bowls is gone. So my question for the Seahawks is, what do you do when the going gets tough? In 1996, Harbor High School was playing San Lorenzo Valley in a high school football game. The winner of this game would receive the league championship. If you won this football game, you were the league champion. It was David versus Goliath. San Lorenzo Valley, SLV, they always won. They were perennial winners. They won every single year. And Harbor High School from Santa Cruz was a bunch of beach bums, skater boys. They were not a football powerhouse. This football game ends in a tie. And Harbor High School, who is massive underdogs, the Harbor quarterback, when asked, do you want to play for overtime? The Harbor High School says, no, we will take the tie. And these two teams became co-league champions. A decision the quarterback, I know him, I'm a friend of his, he regrets to this day. I know the story very well because I worked on a documentary called Almost Champions. And 20 years later, the quarterback felt so guilty about what happened. Wally Rizaki, look him up, felt so guilty 20 years later, he proposed they play a rematch to see who actually was the league champion. And they did it. They went back. But the point of this story is to say, how do you respond when the going gets tough? Do you rise up or do you keel over and take the loss? Do you submit to a tie? We'll just take the tie. I don't want to fight for it. The Seattle Seahawks are in that position. Are they going to keel over and die or are they going to rise up? So everybody left the Seattle Seahawks. Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, Golden Tate, Max Unger, all their stars. The core of the Seattle Seahawks is gone. And what do the Seahawks have left? The Seattle Seahawks have their head coach, Pete Carroll, and their starting quarterback, Russell Wilson. If you think back to the early 2000s, we saw a very similar thing happen. We saw this New England Patriots. We saw the New England Patriots win Super Bowls with Teddy Bruschi, Richard Seymour, Rodney Harrison, Junior Seau, rest in peace. The New England Patriots won a bunch of Super Bowls with a core group of guys. They had a great defense, and they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. When those old guys retired, when their legendary defense retired and moved on, what were the Patriots left with? The Patriots were left with Tom Brady and their head coach, Bill Belichick. However, when the Patriots lost their great defense, they lost the core of their team. They were able to reset and keep it going. The question is, can the Seattle Seahawks do the same? My best bet is no. I do not believe the Seattle Seahawks can duplicate the Patriots' success. Let's look at Pete Carroll's resume in his career. He spent 1 year as the Jets head coach, took a little break, went back and was the Patriots head coach for 3 seasons before ending up in USC and being USC's head coach for 9 years. He won a couple of championships. And now it's been 8 years in Seattle. It fell apart in USC after 9 years. He spent 8 in Seattle. We are coming close to the end. It's been a good run. It's been a great run. The Seahawks have won a ton of games. But 9 years appears to be the max for Pete Carroll. That might be a weak argument. So let's talk about some other stuff. We've seen many collections of players get together, win a bunch for a few years, and then ultimately fizzle out. We saw the Cowboys do this. We saw the 49ers do this. And we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers do this. So the Cowboys dynasty, they won 3 Super Bowls between 1993 and 1996. It's only 4 years. 4 years between Super Bowls. I mean, they won other seasons beside that, but their Super Bowl run was for 4 years. 4 years over. 3 Super Bowls, and that's it. Now, the 49ers between 85 and 1990, won 4 Super Bowls with Joe Montana and company. And then again in 1995, with a different cast and a new quarterback, Steve Young, they won another Super Bowl. But look at the time between Super Bowls. 5 years. The Steelers, between 1975 and 1980, won 4 Super Bowls. Again, 5 years. Do you get the point? The point is that even the best dynasties of all time, they don't last very long. They fizzle out after 5, 6 years, probably 8 years with that same core of guys. The longest we've seen is 5 years between Super Bowls. When you talk about the 49ers, the Steelers, and the Cowboys, the longest stint we've seen between Super Bowls is 5 years. It's been 8 years for the Seattle Seahawks. It's been 8 years for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks. You know why the Patriots are so incredible? Why the Patriots are just head and shoulders above everybody else in NFL history? That's because it's been 15 years between their first Super Bowl and their last Super Bowl. They won their first Super Bowl in 2002, and they won their most recent Super Bowl in 2017. 15 years between their first Super Bowl and their most recent Super Bowl. That is unheard of. To keep a quarterback and a coach together, to lose your big cast, to lose your Emmitt Smith, to lose your Deion Sanders, to lose your Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, to lose all those guys, reset and be able to win more Super Bowls down the road. That is incredible. That is unheard of. Do you think that Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson can duplicate what the New England Patriots were able to do? I'll be honest, history is not on their side. It doesn't look good if you're a Seahawks fan. I am betting that the Seattle Seahawks are done. This is the beginning of the end for Pete Carroll and his time as the Seattle Seahawks head coach. They're not going to part ways with Russell Wilson, but this is the beginning of the end for Pete Carroll. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. You can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, also on Google Play. Thank you so much. If you really want to help me grow Strong Opinion Sports, though, tell your friends about the show on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Share this with your friends. Tell the world about Strong Opinion Sports. Subscribe and help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast. Thank you so much.